Hello everyone, today I'm going to be ranking all of my dreams that I've written down for the past 6 months. Let's get right into this. All of these pictures here, they are all representative of what dream I had. The first dream I want to start out with is this Mr. Bean dream. This dream, from what I wrote down, is about some sort of like action love story Mr. Bean type movie. A lot of my dreams represent movies that I've seen and video games. It's a love story with Fast and the Furious. It's a Fast and the Furious love story dream with the ending credits showing famous movies with the characters narrating what happened during these scenes when they were filmed. And then somehow I wrote like Dr. Blank out. So maybe like some guy in the movie was named Dr. something. I think I put blank because I think I couldn't remember the name of that guy, but this was a good dream. I would say it was very fun, and this was kind of the dream that got me into writing down my dreams, since this was the first one I wrote down. Next one is this Western picture right here. This dream was about my dad and I in a old Western town, like a fake Western town where it's like, it's representative of like the old times. Basically, I just, like, a girl just friend zoned me, and I was like talking with my dad about it, and for some reason, like, the bartender had a book next to her bar that had the name of the girl that rejected me. After I read that, I was like, what? And then my dad was like, I put a quote that he said on here. I'll just read the quote. "This is like the only nice bar in town. All the other ones are bad," or "all the others are bad." I was like, okay. Sounds like something my dad would say. I mean, apparently the bartender had a conversation with that girl, and I just read it in the book, and I don't really know anything else about the story. I didn't write much more. This next one is literally just one line where I said, "Our semi-truck loose on the highway." Keep in mind, I write these right after I have the dreams, so like I'm really tired, so a lot of them don't really make that much sense. So it's a story about a semi-truck. Oh wait, I need to rank the Western. Okay. That one was okay. Our semi-truck loose on highway. What? You know what? I don't even know if this one even qualifies as a dream. Like, I wouldn't even... Here, add a row below. I'm gonna name this one not a dream. I wouldn't even qualify that as a dream. That's just kind of like a vision. Okay, next one is, this is the only, like, Creative Commons picture that I could find online of Tweak. I just looked up Tweak Smash Bros, and this is the only Creative Commons one, but this dream entails Tweak throwing something at me to wake me up as I woke up inside another dream. Inception. 2 monitors are enough, but I had 4. So maybe I dreamed that I had 4 monitors, and I was saying, like, maybe he told me, like, 2 monitors are enough. Counselor was talking to me, asking how I felt about Smash Ultimate tournaments on my monitors. 1 monitor was brightest, and I shut it off because it was too bright for the counselor and I. So I brought in 4 monitors into a counselor's office, and Tweak was there? And he was throwing something at me, or I think he threw something at me before I woke up into the other dream, and, okay, I guess. Next one, this one was crazy, so I call this one the Needle Mama Curse. I was, like, in a prep school, similar to the one from, like, the game Bully Scholarship Edition, and there was a teacher there that was, like, a normal teacher, right? But she, like, gave me a curse, and, like, she shot, like, a red needle into my arm to become her, like, part of her cult, and she would, like, feed off of our blood with this like red needle thing, and she was like, she would turn into like a red needle, like sharp monster thing of a whatever. And at the end of the story, I just, right after a new initiate was forced to become a part of her cult, like I was like, you know what, I'm fed up about this. And after she left, she's like, oh, well, okay, we'll have a good time. And we're both like, there's like, I'm confused on what is happening when she says that we don't need to do something that we always do, like for ritual. And she's like, okay, you don't have to do it tonight. And we're all like, why not? And then I realized, like, she sent in like guards or like prep school guys to like arrest us or something as a punishment. And I'm like, you know what? I don't care. And I ran outside the room that she had the class, and I like jumped off a balcony and ran outside to where she was. She was about to get into a car, and I woke up right when I was getting into her car. Or I might have gotten, let me read this. I think I got into my mom's car, and that was the end of the dream. It was a lot longer than that, but that's just the gist. I would say that's probably a favorite dream. It's very creepy, and I felt so unnerved the whole time, but it just resonated with myself because of how much I could remember of it. Next dream. Weird fish dream where I was a famous Spanish celebrity that lost his friend in the beginning, jumping off of a mountain, and after that happened, I didn't know where he went. I was on a cliff with my friend, and I lost my friend because he jumped off the mountain, and I went to a town to ask them about it, and all the residents are really cool, except for one guy, and I can't remember why he was not cool. And then it says, then after I die or something happens, I get sent back into the real world, and my friend that I thought was lost is visually happy jumping into the same water off of the small rock mountain. Okay, so my friend jumped off a mountain. I went to a town, or I got like teleported to a town. I asked them what's up. They're all really cool and chill about it. And then I get transported into the real world, and I see a vision of my friend visually happy jumping up and down below the mountain where he jumped off. And then I go back to the town again, and everyone is a sea creature, and the same guy from the other world is now a giant red crab / lobster. So that weird guy is a red crab and lobster now. He tells me that in this place everyone wants to eat me. So everyone there wants to eat me now in that town. Then I get eaten at a mollusk's house after going back to it. Then I wake up. That's a freaky dream. That's a pretty good dream, honestly. I'm going to put great. I just put a fish for this, just because I thought, sea creature or whatever. I couldn't find any other Creative Commons pictures. And I know I don't need to use Creative Commons pictures, but I'm like, you know what? Just to avoid copyright. But how are they not going to copyright like Mr. Bean or like Sugar Bombs from Fallout? Well, I'll get to that later. Or like Tweak and like that, like Congo Saga. But anyway, this next one is about me being in a hotel, falling asleep and cuddling with two girls and one of them is in pink. So I don't know if I should be sharing all these because these are kind of like wet dreams, if you want to call it. I just thought it'd be fun. So this one is about, like, I was cuddling with these two girls, and my dad is there, and my dad says I should sleep in another room because it's more logical for some reason. It shows me going to the sidewalk, racing down the sidewalk, blowing people away with my speed, and I'm doing constant front flips. What the hell? And then somehow I see people from my high school on the sidewalk, and somehow, or for some reason, they call me Scooby-Doo, and I notice them calling me that because I have my speed vision. I realize how weird it would be for Scooby-Doo to run on the street and assume I'm Shaggy when they say Scooby-Doo. Oh, like the running thing? I don't even know how any of this makes any sense, but then I go back to the hotel. My friend and I, we paid for a room and it was too small. And since we had 3 beds, what am I even trying to say here, man? So I guess I just had like a hotel room with all of those people, like the 2 girls and my dad and my friend. I don't know where my friend came in. So it says I had like that girl in pink I had like a great conversation with and a great connection to. And then I don't even know, man. This is weird because I guess I was just talking with her in the pool or something. And then we go back to the hotel and then I wake up. That's such a boring dream, man. Like, it just sounds like blasé, you know? I wouldn't even say I would say it's okay. It's decent. I just feel like there's not really much going on. I know this one. This one's funny as hell. So, my friend Chance and I, we have this weird saying, it's like an inside joke. We say fuckwit. It's like Fuckwit. I might get demonetized saying that, but it's just some random thing. And so in this dream, I was at my middle school with my friends, and my mom was there and my dad was there, and we were trying to all explain to my mom what fuckwit meant. And something scary or funny happened before my mom showed up, and we all reacted to it beforehand. And I write on here, overall, it was a fun dream with tons of funny interactions and experiences with my friends. So, yeah, honestly, I'd say that's a good dream. This next one, I'm sitting down at a party, and I say hello to one of my elementary school friends, or not friends, just this girl that I liked. And she doesn't say anything back. Then another girl that I liked in elementary school, she walks up to me and says, "You had something to say to me," and I woke up. I'm gonna say that's a bad dream. That's lame, man. That's stupid. But you know what? I'm just gonna put it in not good, because that's just a dream that it's just so boring, man. I don't even know if I would call that a dream, but I guess it is. This one is not. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't even really qualify that as a dream. So another hotel dream, sleeping with 2 women. What is wrong with me, man? I forgot I wrote all this stuff down, but so after sleeping with those 2 women, I don't even know if we had sex or not, but after sleeping with them and waking up, my mom gets mad at me and asks if I have a girlfriend, and I firmly answer no, which is the truth. And she's like, "Are you sure?" And I say no again, as I really don't have a girlfriend, and my mom then says I need to get dressed and ready for the day, and I decide I can dress in the van. Oh, this dream. So after this dream after this like beginning part, after sleeping with 2 women, am I like James Bond or something? Anyway, I get dressed, I get inside a van, I get dressed in the van, my mom's not even there, and I'm driving down a highway, and it looks like this one is what I'm talking about. It's like a desert, and I'm driving down the highway, but I'm getting dressed at the same time in the back seat. I'm not even controlling the vehicle. It's like in Ron Burgundy when he's like, "Oh, it's in autopilot," or "It's in cruise control. I don't need to control the car." And they're like, "You still need to turn," and then they fall off the road. So it's sort of like a desert situation like that, where I'm just in the back seat while the car's moving. And it's a van. I think it's a white van, from what I remember. Or it might be like a dark brown. Dark green. So it says I veer off on the highway, and I experience a bumpy ride across a very large open desert. During this time, I can see large brown mountainous figures next to me on the right, and yellow bugs are coming inside the van to annoy me, and I was scared what kind of bugs they were, since they looked ravenous. When I come to a stop in the middle of a giant open area, the bugs leave and I wake up. Maybe the windshield was broken in the front? That's why the bugs were coming in? I don't even know. I kind of like that, though. I'm going to put that in good. Oh, this one. This is one of my favorite dreams. So this is where I'm sort of like a secret agent. I'm tasked to investigate a underground, like, Egyptian treasure. I need to find it and take it. I don't even know if I'm like a spy for the CIA. It sounds like I'm just like a hitman, but I hit treasure. Anyway, I go with like a partner of mine, and we go inside like a random shop, and they have like a secret door that that we need to get into. And the way we get into it is we hit a button somehow in the shop, and it opens up the door, and we go inside secretly. We try to avoid their attention. And in order to actually be inside this place, it's actually another hotel. I don't know what's my fascination with hotels, but yeah, I'm in the hotel, right? And we go inside this secret passageway, and it looks like ancient Egyptian architecture. And when we shut the door, right, to the architecture room, and we don't see the treasure, but we have to like fight off bugs inside of there, and then we finally find out where it is. We have to like break it down. There's like, we have to like fight off a boss, and then we break down a door or like a hidden wall or whatever. Looks like a solid wall, but we break it down, and then we fight like some ninja guy in the next room. He's like dark blue. I think he might be a bug descendant or something. And then we get the treasure in that room, and then we realize we can't escape. So then we have to we turn into like a little bug, and then we go through like a hole, and it allows us to leave. And then once we get out, the hotel guy is like, "You've been here for 2 months," or like, "You've been here for 3 days." And he charges us like $800 for the night stay, and we're like, shoot, we don't have the money. And I start crying. I'm like, dang it, how are we gonna pay for that? Then like $900, and I'm like, I don't think I can have my mom pay for that. And I'm like, we'll just leave, I think. And then we realized that they scammed us, and they were just doing that because they're like evil and they didn't want their treasure to be stolen. Because I think the fat guy at the counter like started to attack me once I was like, no, we're not gonna pay. And then we go on a zip line to get away from him, and we go back to our little base, and we're like, yeah, we got it. And then I woke up because we won. So I would say that's one of my favorite dreams. Also that dream where, I can't even remember, it was like the other hotel one. I know there's a lot of those, but it was the country hotel dream about sleeping with 2 women. Oh wait, no, that was the van one. I see what you mean. So this next one is a factory dream, where this one was really weird. I was in some sort of huge factory that made like sodas and like certain types of drinks, and apparently they're like super popular, and people would like crowd into this big ass factory. It had a really high ceiling. My cat wants to be let out of my room, but they dumped like a ton of cocoa on us, or like cocoa soda. It's like chocolate soda in all of us. And then it like gave us some sort of disease, and they decided like, oh shoot, I don't want to get sued. So they're like, okay, well let's just think logically. And the people who made the soda, I think I was one of the employees, or like one of the people in the crowd, they decided to go with like fizzy root beer to cover up their evilness with the chocolate root beer, or chocolate soda. So yeah, that was that dream. I would say that one's good too. I really like that one, but it was very weird. I'm gonna let my cat out first. Okay, so we don't have many left. Well, we still have a decent left. So this next one is about me being in a forest. I'm in a car, hiding from a giant blue animal with a raccoon tail. Black and blue tail. Since it heard my mom and I, we are living in new houses that are run down because no one lives in them anymore due to the apocalypse. What? That was a big change up. I think I was so tired writing some of these, man. Let me try to interpret this. So I think we're in a car, we're hiding from something, like a blue and black raccoon, giant blue animal, and then we got teleported to a new house that is run down, and like we're living in these houses, but they're really run down because no one lives in them anymore due to the apocalypse? I guess there's some sort of apocalypse thing. I feel like I was playing too much Fallout 3, man. Not good. I wouldn't even say that's okay. It's just boring, dude. Doesn't even make it, no cohesiveness. This one I can't even remember. It's Egyptian-themed maze roller coaster ride with a few people, and the Big Show from WWE is there, and a person is lurking behind the doors, grabbing a child of ours. I have a child? And the Big Show literally bites him and makes him bleed? What the f? That mysterious guy has a medium-sized beard. So wait, the child is a medium-sized guy? Oh, wait, that person... Okay, so it's not the Big Show. The Big Show doesn't bite the child. The mysterious guy that was lurking behind doors that grabbed the child, he has a medium-sized beard and is much shorter than the Big Show as the Big Show is really tall. Then I wake up. That's weird. I feel like there was more to that story, I just didn't remember enough. I don't think I even have one for that. I'll just do this for the Big Show one. That's a creepy-ass dream, to be honest. I would say that's a bad dream. I don't like that one at all, man. That's just creepy. Dream about a current apocalyptic world event that is killing people. I dream about eating Chick-fil-A with my family, and we're with Badlands Chugs. That was probably when I was binging Badlands Chugs. We ordered exactly $34.56 worth of food for all of us, and Badlands orders $34.16 just for himself. We then eat the food and end up driving on the highway. While on the highway, we encounter giant colors that move towards us and assume they are radioactivity waves. We enter them and I transform into a being with no face, glowing purple-colored face though. In my right hand, I am carrying a wireframe black cube with a purple glowing shape inside. While this is happening to me, I assume all of them are transforming into this being too, and I think I was right. We go back, so all of my family are transforming into these weird things because of the gamma rays. We are eventually teleported somehow into a room with a person inside. This woman looks like a grandma. While we're inside, I eventually realize that in order to get back, you need to grab a golden music note floating around. I assumed this because they left this area due to grabbing one. So I guess they grabbed a golden music note floating around. I feel like I was watching Badlands Chugs, I was playing Banjo-Tooie, and I was playing Fallout because I'm transforming with like radioactive stuff, like into a ghoul or something. And then she sends me up to heaven, or wait, my grandma lady comes up to me and says, "I think it's your time." And then I exclaim, I have an experience having a child, a wife. And I was like, "You have to let me live." And she says, "Well," and I was like, she might send me back. And then she's like, and then she sends me back with a task I need to do in order to live. And she makes a task for me, and then I wake up. This is the heaven one. This one's okay. I wouldn't say it's that bad. I feel like this one, I could have explained it better. It's kind of bounces around. This next dream is amazing, though. So this is probably my favorite dream. This dream... It's my water bottle. So this next dream is a story about my dad and I. I have a lot of dreams with my dad, and we're in like some sort of Antarctica, some sort of desolate, snowy location. I'm with people from my daycare from when I was a kid, and it says on here we're traveling to another universe and landing on a frozen planet. So we're on like another universe on like a frozen planet. So we walk around and we go into some sort of like sewer area, another sewer reference. And then when we go up into the sewer, we find that this is a entire world, or like a big city. It's a big steampunk city that is home to a giant football stadium. It's like real American football. And my dad and I, we walk up to a family there and we're like, well, this is a different universe. Like, are they going to be different? And they seemed to be about the same as us, but there's a little bit different things. Like, there's different things that they have as cultures. Like, for one, like, they order food by, like, standing up, and, like, they have to stand next to their table because there was, like, a dining area that my dad and I went to. And I kept telling my dad not to do all this stuff, like, yo, you shouldn't talk to so many people because they might find out we're not from this universe. But yeah, we're in a diner, and when I was there, I was just talking to a few people. They were like, oh, cool, yeah, they're really nice. And those people tell me, like, yo, what's that thing you have in your hand? And I say, this is an umbrella. You haven't seen one? And they're like, no, we don't even know what that is. And I was like, shoot. They might be suspicious of us, but they were more like, a lot of people there were getting like drunk because it's like a bar, giant diner. It's more of a bar. It was like a bar, sports bar, because there's like a football stadium. And some sort of inventor comes over to me and he's like, is that some sort of thing to stop water? And I'm like, and then he calls over his friend, and I freak out because he's like, oh shoot. I'm like, oh shoot, he might like reveal that like I'm the inventor of this and I'm like not from this world. It's kind of like in Star Trek, I think it's the dark one, like the one where it has the darkness something in it, where they go to a planet and like they don't want to influence the people there because they haven't seen like developed society. They're like still in the Stone Age. I was afraid that other people might like, I might influence their world with like our inventions. So I run around like I'm like trying to avoid having them find out who I am. While this football game is going on, everyone's kind of drunk. And then one of like some sort of like two small like leprechaun dudes. They look like little leprechauns, or like, is this the bad term, midgets? They were just small people, and they were the bouncers, and they were the first people to be suspicious, and they were like, oh shoot, that guy might be from a different universe. So they were like, oh crap, because we have a whole community with all these people, and we're like, okay, let's leave, and we book it out of there. Those two guys are coming after us. We go back through the sewer, they're following us, and I'm like sliding down a snow hill, and they're like coming after us, but I like throw a snowball at them, and they don't know how I did that because snowballs weren't invented in their universe, or they didn't know about snowballs. So then they were like, and then it cuts off that we made it to the ship and we're on a different universe, and I wake up. So yeah, that one, that was probably one of my favorite dreams. That's probably my favorite dream so far, if I'm being honest. So, ooh, this one is pretty cool. So I'm with this girl, and we're in some sort of Fallout 4 dream, and we're like trapped in like a prison, and we figure out how to escape through like some sort of sewer tunnel. What is my obsession with sewers? I swear, man. And like we escape through like a glitch. Like it's kind of funny because we like escape using like a technique to escape, like Fallout 4, like a clipping tool or whatever, or not a clipping tool, like a clipping technique exploit. And we go through like an air vent, and we eventually escape. And then when we see the guards and they're like below us, we're like, oh shoot, let's leave. And we find like, we drop down, we try to go through like a small corridor, and I eventually just wake up while we're going through that small corridor. This one was really cool because it reminded me of Tron. Like the whole area was like blue and black, sort of like Tron. This next one is about, I don't have a one on here, but I'm kind of glad I didn't put this picture on here because it's ridiculous. It's scary. So this is the one where I don't even remember what it was going on in the beginning, but like I was at some sort of party and they were singing karaoke, and they were singing Hannah Montana lyrics, and I look inside of a vent while they're singing it, and I see a creepy like little girl doll thing. And then like, I usually don't have these like scary dreams, but this one freaked me out. I woke up in real life after like, so the doll actually scared me in my dream, and I woke up in real life. I could not move in real life. And you know how in REM sleep, I don't know if you guys know this, but REM sleep is when you're in deep sleep, and that's when dreams happen. And your body makes it to where it paralyzes you so you don't act out your dreams. And I was still in REM, so I could not move. And if you see that closet behind me, a little bit like right there, if you can see that, I was like like trying to move to get away from the doll, and I was like, crap, I can't move, and I see the doll and it like jumps right out at me, and then I actually wake up and I gain control of my body. So it was freaky as hell. And so since it's so freaky, I'm just going to use this happy sun, which I forgot what I was going to use on it. I'm going to say that's good. I know it sounds weird, but it was a good dream. I remember it pretty well, and I've never had like a scary dream like so stereotypical with like a scary doll or whatever. Okay, next dream. So this one, I'm on a movie set with Karan Brar, which is from, you know, the show Jessie. He's the smaller, I think he's Indian. I could be wrong in that. Let me know if I'm racist. But I'm with him, and he's like on a movie set with me, and he is like the kid that isn't like very confident. And I'm with this girl, and we're trying to make him confident, and like once we finish the movie, we're like, hey, you know what? I think you deserve something. And we give him like a Mini Cooper GT RS that looks like a black Dodge Viper when he's driving it for some reason. That's funny. Then we give him the car, and then he's like, yeah, this is really cool. And everyone gets together, and we all drive off, and I get in my car, and I'm like, I try to impress everyone by like driving my Ford Focus pretty fast, and I'm like, yo, like, I'm just as cool, even though he just got a new car. So I would say this is a great dream. I really like that one. And that was kind of how the movie story ended. Magic Siri dream where, so this is the one where I'm in my uncle's house, and everyone is fighting over some sort of like magical pen that grants wishes. Ugh. And it says it ends during this fighting scene with thousands of people in a mall with me. Reminds me of Dead Rising 2. Like, you know how you're in a mall in that game, and there's a ton of zombies everywhere. So it's kind of like a fighting scene where it's in a huge mall. Everyone's fighting for just this pen. And I was given the technology from my uncle, and we were in some sort of canyon. And it says that some sort of scientist came up to me and gave it to me because... Not my uncle, he didn't give it to me, but my scientist guy, he gave it to me, and somehow I got it from that big old crowd. So I guess maybe the big crowd is the foreshadowing for after he gives me the technology pen or whatever. Yeah, that's a good dream. I'd say that. It sounds pretty fun. I can't remember what it is pretty much though. Rich, stuck-up white girl hotel dad dream. This is so stereotypical now that I've read all my dreams like this. So her and I are forced to meet and hang out on this hotel for some reason. I'm with my dad. It says I eventually get to know the girl so well that we fall in love, and we're climbing the stairs to the helicopter where we're separated. Sounds way too fucking romantic comedy, or like romantic, dramatical, what is it called? Romantic movie. So I guess I bring my face close to her, and then we're separated by helicopter. Ooh, cool. This one is okay. I mean, it sounds so, like, fluffy. Anyway, Fallout 76 dream where I go to Damien's house, which is my dad's friend. Oh yeah, I should name names, but I'm with my dad again, with two girls. Why am I always with girls? Maybe I just, like, fantasize about women all the time. I don't even know. Another helicopter. I guess it's another thing. Oh, wait. No, I use, like, a helicopter pack. It's like a jetpack, but with a helicopter. Similar to, like, King K. Rool from Smash Ultimate, where he uses up B. So, it's some sort of race where I go with the two girls, I race against them, and we're in that house, and I was inside of some sort of game. Oh yeah, Fallout 76, and I'm like racing against them, doing parkour, and it says I was inside the game, and it was really fun but scary. Overall, a very fun dream that I would do again. So, seems like a pretty good dream, I'd say. I can't even remember what happened with it, but this one. So this one's about me being in some sort of like bar slash cantina, is that what it is? Cafe? And we're like rapping. I'm like an amateur rapper, and I'm like nervous about rapping. and there's like a ton of girls that are like really good at rapping, and I'm like nervous to say like, yo, can I come in and rap with you guys? And I eventually go in and I spit this whole song that I know by heart. It's by this artist named Decca, and they're like, whoa, man, he's really good. And then for some reason she attacks me, the leader of like the rap group, and then she like sends out a minion that attacks me, and then I just end the dream. I really like how I was rapping like that line in front of people, but at the same time, that dream kind of was like very okay. Next one. Movie and amusement park dream with my dad and all my friends. Oh, this one I had recently. Yeah, this was like a week ago. This one was about me being in an amusement park with all my friends, and the amusement park had like movies that we would watch, and it says one of the movies was named like Gravity. It was like a 2-part movie collection, and the first movie was like about something boring that I didn't even write down. It wasn't even scary, and because they're 2 horror movies actually. And the second movie was like cool because it's some sort of cult that lives in a house all together that's called like the Family, and one of the characters like went into a room, or like went into a refrigerator at night or something, and the cult leader was like, hey, you shouldn't do that. I know what you're doing. Like, because maybe he doing that makes it seem like he's doing something bad for the cult or something. And in these movies, it felt like I was actually there, like I was actually the characters in the movie. But yeah, those 2 guys fight over and over because they're like, oh shoot, you shouldn't do that, and the other guy's like, well, I was just going to the refrigerator, like I was just getting something, and they fight, and then the movie ends somehow, and I forgot sunscreen for some reason at the amusement park, and I look towards the sun, and I'm like burnt. Like I look at my skin too after looking at the sun, and I'm like completely red everywhere. So this is the picture that I have for it. I would say it's a pretty good dream. I wouldn't say it's great, but I like it. I can't even remember what dream I had for bad dreams, but elementary school dream. Oh yeah, this is the one that I had recently. So it all starts in the beginning of the dream where I'm flying with, or as, like I'm as Thor. Am I Thor? I don't know. I'm like Thor, and I'm flying in the sky with him, and I fall out of the sky. I guess I like take the perspective of Thor, because when I land, I become myself. And I see Thor land, and he's trying to hide from the police because for some reason I had this ideology that after the Avengers movie, Avengers Endgame, he was like a wanted man, Thor, so like all the police are trying to find him or whatever, so I help him try to like find him a place to hide, and eventually we get caught by a police officer. Thor has a bike somehow, even though he just landed, and we go inside this house that we're hiding next to, and the house that we're in is actually one of like an old Avengers headquarters. So it's not a very good hiding place, since like you would expect a landing Thor to go there, but we go inside and the police officer finds us, and he handcuffs Thor, and the police officer sends me to elementary school. And I literally am like, I already took elementary, but it's like, you need it again. And I'm like, really? Anyway, I'm inside the elementary school, and I'm in some sort of dumbass math class that I'm like, okay, I don't care. And basically, I do something that annoys the teacher, and she screams, detention! And somehow in the rooms, like, everyone there is my age, even though it's like an elementary school. And I get sent to detention. There's so many people from my elementary school there that, like, grew up, obviously, and they're still, like, they're, like, grown up in the story, even though it's an elementary school. I don't know. And a friend of mine, his dad was there watching his, like, stepdaughter or something. And I was there, and I was, like, being really rebellious. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't even need to be here. I already graduated high school. Why do I need to go back to elementary? And basically, they asked the main teacher in there, she's like, okay, you need to come out, you know, we're going for a walk outside. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't care, so I'll go out and not really do anything, or I'm not even gonna follow any of your directions. So she's like, oh, well, you need to stand up straight and, like, or you need to stand up straight and walk in a straight line, similar to how elementary school is like. And I was like, I'm not doing that, that's stupid. So what I did was, like, I went up to, and I was kind of like making fun of it. So I was like walking super straight, walking like with like this, and then she's like, you need to have your back straight. So I'm like that, and I'm like walking forwards like this, like, and I just walked away, and she's like, she's probably mad at me. And a friend of mine from my elementary school, which I haven't seen in years, he was like, hey, you should follow the directions. I'm like, okay, and then I go a different way, but I get to the same area, and then I look back, and he's like laughing, because he's like, well, I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, you got to the same area going a different way. And now I'm like walking outside on the sidewalk with my head down like this, just trying to be goofy and just rebellious. And so I see a woman in front of me. She has lavender hair, she's a little bit overweight, and she's like an older woman, and I assume she's a counselor because she asks me about my feelings or emotions, and I'm like, with my head down and with the same gesture of this, like military, not to disrespect the military, I'm just reading it off and representing of what happened. And I was like, yeah, I just want to kill myself, or I was like, yeah, I don't really feel like living anymore. And that's when I woke up. So I'm like, after she asked me, like, pretty courteously, she's like, yeah, just, you know, tell me about your feelings. I'm like, yeah, kind of want to kill myself, like, just to be, you know, rebellious in that situation. But yeah, it was a pretty good dream. I thought it was kind of funny. I'd say it's actually a great dream. I think I liked it more than this. This is good. And you know what? They're all in the same tier. I mean, similar. I don't even know what I was going to do with this communist one, but you know what? For communism, awful. I hate communism. I mean, other countries like communism, but this is America, dang it. Right? So yeah, that'll conclude this long-ass video about this tier list. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, peace.